player to get your digital copy today. High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today. This presentation of the NFHS Network is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
With great brands at the best prices at Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun. More of this, and more of this, and this. So you can do more of that, and definitely some of that. While getting together for more of that, and getting to that. Yes! Have more fun with great brands at the best prices, only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
A place that rewards your loyalty on every rental. Football away, baby.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today. High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today. This presentation of the NFHS Network is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
With great brands at the best prices at Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun. More of this and this, and more of this and this. So you can do more of that, and that, and that, and definitely some of that. While getting together for more of that, and that. Yes! Have more fun with great brands at the best prices, only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today. High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today.
And we welcome you back here at the half of the 2023 VHSL Class 6 Football State Championship. The Highland Springs Springers trailing 28-13 to the defending 6A state champion, Freedom Eagles. We welcome you back here in the booth. Andy Hayes alongside Jack Hayes. Good to have you with us here today. Hope you're enjoying our coverage back home. Jack, the storyline in the first half, Jeff Overton. Not really a shocker. We said you had to watch number 6.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Jeff Overton in the first half running for 164 yards. With as long as the 72, we saw his long 72-yard run, hurdling over a defender. I'd say that puts him over 1,000 rushing yards for the playoffs alone. That's a pretty scary stat there for Jeffrey Overton. But then talking about the quarterback here, Evans, and, we're going to highlight his ability to hit the short throws, like the screens, the slants across the middle, the 5-yard throws.
And the runs.
His ability to run.
Yeah, it kind of sets up these kind of plays right here. There you see Cameron Courtney with a nice touchdown run. That got Freedom on the board. But the whole offense works when Evans is doing his thing. And I think Highland Springs kind of got onto that a little bit toward the end of the first half. What do you think?
Right. No, there's no doubt about that. Freedom putting up the early 28 points. And then Highland Springs having to find an answer, and their defense stepping up in a big way. Obviously, the Overton run, was one thing that we're going to highlight. But the Highland Springs has been pretty dominant in the last, 6 to 8 minutes of the second quarter. So we'll see if they can come out strong in the second half and keep Freedom, with very minimal points and get their offense back in this game for them.
You saw Ja'Kai Jackson-Hughes on that interception return for a touchdown. That was the second score for Freedom. Highland Springs had some good field position. They just couldn't do much with it. And then Evans with a big run here kind of got Freedom back out towards midfield. First quarter seemed like it lasted forever. And then you saw Overton do what he does. And once he gets out in the open, he's pretty tough to bring down. I think the highlight run, even though this was going to be one that we watched a couple times, he bounces there off to the right, and he's off to the races. The highlight run maybe of the entire day could be this run we're going to watch in the second quarter with Overton. That play, Jack, was a 4th and 1 from the 29-yard line. So if Highland Springs can stop him there, I mean, you got a chance, right? They're right there off of a couple good defensive plays, and the bottom line is on 4th and 1. Watch this play here. Overton to the near side, gets a great block out front, and then watch this hurdle right here, and takes the defender, jumps over the top of him, and he's off to the races. Those are the kind of plays that change ball games. The 2-point conversion to the right side was good, and it's 28-0. At that point, Jack, we thought game over, right? Very next drive, Christian Martin finds a wide open Noah Jenkins for a touchdown on the second play of that drive, and boom, Highland Springs with some momentum. The missed extra point happens, almost an onside kick that looked pretty strong, but Freedom comes back out, and they go 3 and out right away. And Highland Springs gets the ball back. And on the punt return, our guy that we like to talk about, Kyrie Henry here, 5'9", 175-pound senior, picks it up out of nowhere. Watch him go. And look at the host of teammates he has in front of him. A whole blockade up there to help get him to the end zone, and Henley pulls Highland Springs back from 28-6 to 28-13. And that's where we ended the first half of action. Freedom with a couple chances to add to it, but Highland Springs on defense pretty stout there. It was Johnson from the linebacker position doing his job, and this was the last play of the first half for Highland Springs on offense. It was an interception, didn't do any damage, and that sent us here to the half. So thoughts for the second half? How do you expect it to go?
Well, if you remember last year when Highland Springs was playing Stonebridge in the state championship last year.
Semifinals.
Yeah. Christian Martin started to use his legs and run more. We haven't seen him run for very much. We've seen him rush for 6 yards in the first half. So I'm kind of expecting Christian Martin to start using his legs, and then once you use your legs more, it might keep the Freedom defense off balance, and you can throw some home runs down the field.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens here in the second half. We'll send you away for a quick break as we send you back out to the field. Our halftime score, 28-13. We're getting ready for the action right after this. And we're back to the action here. Start of the third quarter. Andy Hayes, Matt Hatfield, Jack Hayes with you. I hope you're enjoying our coverage back home live from Scott Stadium on the campus of UVA. So Highland Springs will kick it to start the second half. It'll be a pooch kick that's going to land out of bounds at the 28-yard line. So Freedom will get pretty good field position. Matt, we gave the chair to the young guy here. He said a couple things about Christian Martin in the second half, that Christian Martin needs to run the football a little bit more to open up that defense some of Freedom. Your thoughts on that?
I totally agree, and I also want to see if Lauren Johnson goes to some of that option run game that they've shown earlier in the playoffs, particularly in that round 3 win over Manchester. As we'll see with decent field position for, well, actually looks like they're going to re-kick this thing. But in Freedom's case, you look at some of the first half numbers, and Jeff Overton has been a machine, 163 yards passing. Tristan Evans has 10 completions, Andy, for 41 yards. That's less than 5 yards a completion. And you look at what he's done this year, I mean, he's put up staggering numbers, but he usually averages about 17 to 18 yards per completion. So big difference. The Highland Springs defense is giving them the underneath things. They're not letting them go over the top. And what is the counter for Freedom? Are they going to stay patient with their offense and avoid the penalties that have plagued them so far in this first half? 5 flags for 42 yards, none for the Springers.
So we'll kick it again here to start the second half. Saw some of those highlights in that first half. That run by Overton was just silly. Low kick, going to be fielded by Reed back at the 10-yard line. He's got some running room past the 40, 45, 50, and knocked out of bounds there, but a penalty flag down. Looks like a hold from our view up here against Freedom.
Yeah, I think this one's coming back as we watch the kickoff and the replay again here. You'll see right here on your screen about the 35-yard line. Looks like they got a lot of jersey, and he let go of it on number 5, and the flag was flying by then. One of those, oh, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. You didn't catch me.
That's always a good indicator.
Yeah.
Holding call, it'll move it back to the 28. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles. You kind of feel like the defense needs to come up with a big turnover here, maybe a pick 6 of their own, something for Highland Springs to really put some pressure on Freedom in this third quarter.
Yeah, and we saw early in the game the Highland Springs defense get that pick 6 from Chikai Jackson Hughes. Springers would love to get a fumble recovery or something of that nature.
Run to the left, nowhere to go. Loss of a yard there for Overton. Or check that Reed, he's back at the 26 now, so almost 2 yards. They give him forward progress to the 27.
Now, Overton ran the ball, Andy, 16 times in that first half. Who's going to be that complementary rushing threat? You know, Tristan Evans had a couple of the long runs, but this is where they need to diversify the attack to a degree.
There's the give to Overton. He's got some running room. Oh, what a move. And he's out past the 35 to the 36, a yard shy of the first down. Those little moves right there, a little cut right there, is what gets everybody excited about him, because if you miss him, he's gone. Watch this, right? Boom, right there. I mean, that's special stuff.
He lets the play develop, and he's got that acceleration and burst too when he gets to that second and third level. The thing you do wonder about in this game is keeping him fresh, because he does go both ways. So fourth quarter, if they need him to run and get the hard yards, got to keep that stamina there. There's a nice extension to get to first down on 3rd and short for the Eagles. And that time they go to that secondary rushing option, the complementary piece in Cam Courtney, who's doing a little bit of everything today. Offense, defense, special teams too. Big way to knife his way forward up to the 41-yard line for the first down.
So that moves the chains. Freedom comes out. Overton in the back to the right of Evans. Check that. It is Overton. Check that Courtney's running the football. I thought that might be him. Out to midfield.
Well, I think some of that, Andy's what we talked about. It's going back to keeping Overton fresh, because he does have to carry the ball so much. And now you wondered about that Highland Springs defensive backfield. No Tamondre Braxton today. There is a flag on the play, though. Let's see what, in this preliminary signal seems to be it's coming back on the Eagles as they're moving backwards past the inside their own portion of the field before the 50.
Let's see who it's on. A couple players mixing it up way off the ball. They were out of the shot completely. There's a holding call against Highland Springs and a unsportsmanlike call against Freedom. So they're going to take it forward for the holding call and then backward for a dead ball call. At the conclusion of this ball game, Matt and I will name the Academy Sports and Outdoors Player of the Game. And I would say right now, number 6 for Freedom is leading the charge. 164 yards at the half and 2 touchdowns. But who knows? You never know how it's going to play out. So get that on your radar. The Academy Sports and Outdoors Player of the Game at the conclusion of this one.
Yeah, a whole other half of football here. Well, we should say 9:55 left in this quarter, and then a fourth period to decide who gets that. And these two programs wanting to repeat as state champs. Freedom did it in Class 6 last year. Highland Springs moving up from Class 5. So many storylines that we're following in this ball game, and what a turnout. What a day of weather, Andy. We've had some snow in state championships, some rain, wind, cold. This is as good a day weather-wise as we could have asked for in Charlottesville here for the state finals.
Trying to figure out, it's going to be first down in about 7 here for Freedom. But you're right, Matt. Now, I know you remember this. We did a state championship broadcast in pouring rain.
Yeah.
Remember that? Centerville won the state championship against Oscar Smith in a downpour that
2011,
year.
if I remember right. Yeah.
Might have been 13.
13, yes.
13. They did play.
13.
They played
yes,
Ocean Lakes in 11.
Yep.
But Centerville's 2013 team was 15-0, and they beat a really good Oscar Smith team.
Yes.
You know, we go back and forth between, Northern Virginia 757.
Absolutely.
You and I have that battle going.
We can argue about that next game, I'm sure. Another movement again. And I remember the 2008 at Virginia Tech, the snow falling. That was a memorable one as well.
Oscar Smith winning their first state title with Rich Morgan in 08.
I think your game before that was Phoebus Dinwiddie. Adam Morgan and the Generals against Taj Boyd and the Phantoms.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And it was snowing. Oscar Smith, I think, played Osborne. Is that right? Osborne?
They did.
Yeah.
You know what's so awesome about the NFHS Network, Andy, is people can always go back if they have time, watch some of these awesome championship games on demand.
No doubt about it. Here's Overton. He'll keep it. Bouncing to the left. And he's going to get back, plus a couple from the original line of scrimmage after that false start penalty.
You brought it up earlier. His added strength has made him a more dangerous runner this year than a season ago when he was a really good one as a 10th grader, a pup at the time, who got Class 6 State Offensive Player of the Year. And that turns what was ordinarily a negative play, you would think, for a lot of backs and offenses into a second and manageable for their team here. And now the receivers can be back in the flow here. They can use a lot of different things in the playbook to try to extend this possession.
We're not seeing Evans in the ball game. I wonder if he's hurt.
I haven't seen him get dinged up yet.
Overton's going to throw it. Down the sideline. Oh, what a catch! Preston, touchdown, Freedom! Wow, one-handed grab. Unbelievable from Jeff Overton, who's not even a quarterback. Watch this.
I think it's actually, was that Overton?
That's
that was
Overton.
Yeah, wow.
Look at this catch.
One-handed with the left hand.
Come on. Incredible. It's going to be a pass interference call on Highland Springs. Carlton Preston. Remember the name.
Ooh, Juju.
Unbelievable. We'll watch that one more time after the extra point. That was absurd. I don't know if I've ever seen something like that. Number one, you got your tailback throwing the ball with gloves on. He throws a wobbly pass. Sorry, Jeff. It wasn't the prettiest spiral. And we do compliment you a lot, so don't get upset. But that was perfect. And Preston just tapped it up to himself with one arm because bottom line is the other one was being held. So we'll go back and watch it one more time. Unbelievable. I think he's going to overthrow him by 5 yards here, and he just turns on the burners.
Yeah.
Speed for days. Play, man.
Speed for days. That is a different breed right there. And you see why Clemson, and you even see some of the people in the background just nodding like,
catch.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's going to play on Saturdays.
Yes. I can't keep track of all these guys going to college. Where's he heading to college?
Clemson. He's a junior.
Yeah.
Just a junior. He's another year. You got him and Overton coming back next year.
Coach Dabo Swinney's watching that highlight going, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Clemson Nation, let's go. The Tigers are going to love number one. What a catch.
Well, I think he was a little jealous of his teammates. He wanted in on the act. That was a sensational play. And a guy who, coming into this game, was putting up monster numbers. We talked about the 65 catches for 12, 29, and 18 TDs.
Here's the kick. Low kick. It's going to be picked up at about the 17 by Bird. Bird's got some running room. Back up the field to about the 37. Just for fun, one more time. I feel like that's one of the greatest plays we've ever seen. And Clemson fans will want to watch this Coach Sweeney, we want to watch this. Here's Carlton Preston with the one-handed grab for the touchdown from Jeff Overton, the tailback. How can you not be excited about number one if you're a Clemson fan? Whew.
That's highlight reel material. That's if you're doing your highlight tape, Juju, and you watch this later, you put that at the front of the highlight tape. Don't let that save for the back end. Put that on the front end. Jack, you would use that as your first play if you did that, right?
There's no doubt about
Okay.
that.
That would have already been sent out on social media.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So Highland Springs down 35-13. Got to climb back in it. They definitely did not need that kind of play to happen. Here's a pass from Martin.
You know, Highland Springs, how do you respond from that? That can be a sucker punch. You know, that it's hard to get off the mat from something like that. When you think you've got him stopped, and it wasn't like the coverage was all that terrible,
No,
but he gets by him.
It was going to be a pass interference based on the hold of the right hand of Preston. But in reality, he was right there. The defensive back was right there.
And now Highland Springs has got a 3rd and short to try to convert. I understand Radford is up 32-21 on Riverheads, Andy, with 9:04 to go as the Bobcats just stopped Caden Cook-Cash and the Gladiators on 4th and 1. So could have a storyline play out there where Michael Christ, the head coach at Radford, wins his first state championship at Radford. You know, his father, David Christ, won a state championship, a couple of them, at Blacksburg High School. I don't know any father's sons that have won state championships before in VHSL football. If anybody out there knows, let us know. It could be the first time that's happened.
As coaches? Or
yeah,
players?
as head coaches.
Yeah, you're right about that. I know we've got an injury time out here. Looks like Javier Frazier is the injured Springer. Well, you've got not his head coaches, but Mickey Thompson and his sons coach together.
Yeah.
But you're right about that.
History could be made out there in Salem today. It will be made in either way because Radford's trying to win a state title and Riverheads has won 7 in a row. I understand the FIBA Salem game was a 1-point game, I believe, at halftime. 7-6 still in the 3rd quarter there. So a defensive grudge match. And we've had a lot of offensive fireworks in this game.
Martin back to pass to Jenkins, caught at the 50. Tries to spin out of the tackle, can't do it, but he does get the first down on 3rd down. Big conversion there. So that'll move the chains.
That's a stop route, simple play there. You catch it, move along with its drive here if you're Highland Springs and try to stay in the ring toe-to-toe with this freedom attack that will end this season, Andy, whether they win or lose this ball game. Every contest is here, 35-plus points for the 2nd year in a row.
Option play, and that one cut down immediately by guess who? Number 7, Ja'Kai Jackson Hughes.
Another junior, by the way. This 2025 class for Freedom is loaded. He comes on the perimeter and just takes him down right away on the pitch. It's going to be on Highland Springs here, so a negative situation either way you slice it for Lauren Johnson Springers.
Penalty flag down. Looks like it's going to be against Highland Springs. They're going to say move them back. Make it a longer first down coming up.
Well, and you don't have to get it all back in one play if you're Highland Springs here. You have to stay very, very deliberate in your approach here. I don't think you get out of character.
So it's going to be 1st and 25. 1st and 25. So Bird to the left of Martin here, way back now at the 35. They'll run the option. This could be a quarterback keeper. And it's almost like they listened to Jack's comments about running Christian Martin here at halftime. That's what they're doing here, but gain of about 5. Not a bad gain. It'll be 2nd down and 20.
Well, and to Highland Springs' credit, they only had that one penalty here in this quarter. They hadn't been penalized at all in the first half. More of their adjustments going to be made defensively against this freedom attack, and Martin trying to overcome a couple of picks here. He's not been as crisp throwing the football, so a lot hinges on the running attack.
Going to throw this one up in the air, and that's going to be a penalty flag. Right call there. It looked like George Lovelace was being held. And that was actually a good throw by Martin. He gave him a chance to go get it. E.J. Reed, the defensive back here, and you can kind of see him grabbing that right arm.
It's a tough matchup one-on-one for the 5'9" E.J. Reed against Lovelace, who checks in at 6'2", so he's got a size advantage. And maybe those are the throws you throw if you're Martin, where only he can go get it if you throw it over top or the jump balls closer to you as opposed to in traffic over the middle.
So 2nd down, and we'll call it 4 here now. Still not a 1st down because of how far away they were on that last play. Here's a quick toss. Uh-oh, Jenkins has it knocked up in the air, incomplete. Big hit. Jeff Overton saying, hey, that was a fumble. Let's watch that one again. That was a great hit after the catch.
Big time.
And I believe it was Overton who got him. Yeah, it was. I don't know. That looked like he was running with it there, Matt. I can see why Overton had a thought about that, but there's no replay.
You can't throw the challenge flag. No challenge flags out here.
Just for fun, that's one of those, did he have a continuation of the play, right? Isn't that what they all say all the time when we're watching NFL Sunday?
Well, and with more technology, do you see, I wouldn't have asked this question 10 years ago, do you see the day coming where maybe that could be implemented for something like a state championship game, a replay? For, not all the entire season, but for a championship game? Did you see
the West Virginia state championship where the kid makes the catch, a one-handed catch, maybe the greatest catch I've seen in a long time, other than the one we just saw?
Yeah.
But touchdown in the corner, one-handed grab, foot's down. They call it incomplete, but West Virginia instituted replay. So they did. And they overturned it.
That's good. I would like to see it. I asked a basketball referee. We'll talk about it in 2nd, 3rd, and 5 here.
Quick toss to Henley, and he's got the 1st down to the 36, 35-yard line of freedom. Yeah, I mean, you think about it. If we have replay and the folks at home are looking at it, how hard would it be to have a crew from the VHSL officiating crew come down here and just look at it and make a decision?
I asked a basketball referee because we had that dunk in the Woodside Patrick Henry Roanoke Class 5 basketball championship that was good, or the layup at the end that won the game, if they would be in favor of it. And they said, sure, any technology to help them at the end of a game, or certainly in a championship would be different than all year long with technology.
Here's Martin. And he's going to be tackled right at the line of scrimmage, 34-yard line.
Good job collapsing the pocket by Jewel Harris there. You see why he was Defensive Player of the Year. He's working inside out here, sometimes outside in, as he's able to just keep Martin, take away those lanes he's got to run with the football, because he has been such a weapon for Highland Springs this year, running the football, coming in with 346 yards rushing and 6 TDs, which includes sometimes he's been sacked and had to lose some yards, so he could easily be at over 500 plus as the trigger man.
Martin in the shotgun. Under 5 to play here, 3rd quarter. Toss to Jenkins, and that one dropped. Courtney was standing right there. Probably wouldn't have been a big game, but nonetheless, it would have made it a manageable third down. It'll be third down and almost 10 now for Highland Springs. And they're in 4-down territory. I mean, it's a huge drive. They need to try to get this thing back within 15 points if they can. They
have to score here to give themselves a shot when the fourth quarter begins. And a field goal is not going to cut it with this Freedom team. They'll let you get 3 all day long because they know they can get 7.
Quick throw to the edge. It's going to be short of the first down, though. Loveless trying to spin out of the tackle. Couldn't get free, and so here we go, 4th and 1.
And on the outside there, they're getting those underneath throws, but they're going shotgun again, surprisingly, as opposed to under center for 4th and 1. I think it makes it harder to get a gain if the quarterback has to take off and run here.
Do they try to run the option, maybe a quarterback power run to the right? Nope, he's going to drop back to pass. Throws it towards the end zone for Hindley. Touchdown! What a catch, what a throw. Tyree Henry. 4th and 1 for 6.
I see some rain starting to fall here in Charlottesville, and that time Springers go up top. Henley from Martin, TD strike, and they're back in this thing to make it a 2-possession game as the future Terp delivers a bullet for a TD.
Tremendous catch by Henley. An even better throw by Martin. The extra point is up and it's good. And Highland Springs is hanging in there. We'll watch that one more time. Again, 4th down and 1 here, and we think maybe they'll run it. Nope. Martin's going to go back to his man Henley to the end zone. Pretty good coverage, too. But Henley comes down with it. You see the excitement down on the sideline there. And the Springer Nation still with some hope. It's 35-20 now here in the third quarter.
We thought there'd be a lot of scoring in this game, Andy. I think this is on track to maybe be the highest state championship scoring game of the day. It's certainly going to be in position to if we see these two teams continue to trade punches as far as throwing the football down the field. And just when I was complimenting the nice weather we've got, I'm starting to see some of the rain fall and some fans get the umbrellas out, head for the concourse, if you will, as we're starting to see a little more rain come down here in Charlottesville.
Pooch kick, angling back to about the 29, a fair catch there. And that'll be where Freedom takes over.
Well, back to work for the Freedom offense. They've been able to run it. They've been able to throw it. Juju Preston with that unbelievable one-handed snag. Overton's been everywhere. Cam Courtney, number 5. Keep an eye on him for a reverse or a trick play. They like to get him. And Aaron Duncan threw, I think, a TD pass this year. They have a lot of different weapons that can be involved, even if Tristan Evans, who's back out there now, we're wondering if he was hurt at quarterback, isn't the one delivering a throw.
Here's a give to Overton, and he's stuffed back in the backfield.
You know, it's easy to say outside of the long runs, the 40-yard scramble Evans had, the 72-yard hurdle my defender, TD to the house, highlight reel play for Overton. The Springers defense has held up against the run, but then you look at the stat sheet, you see 248 yards rushing on 22 attempts going to halftime. But the big thing about making these stops on first and second down is it puts Freedom where they need to have to throw it on either second or third to keep the drives going potentially.
Overton bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long coming up.
Highland Springs' defensive front starting to really hunker down and make this a battle.
Evans sacked. 4th down coming up. Again, number 11, Brennan Johnson.
And they're rotating those guys in and out in the defensive line, Andy. Nick Jones, 52. Jaden Schiller, 57. They're not budging at all. They're getting off these blocks. They're shedding them well. They're getting to the quarterback. They're breaking things down. And now the Freedom offense here, hasn't done a whole lot in this half. They scored 28 of those points literally in the game's first 16 minutes. So in the last, what are we talking about? 18 minutes of play? Just one big play, which was Preston's. He did what? Can you believe it? Touchdown catch. And if they stop him there, this is a one-score game, and the Springers are getting it back.
There's the punt. It's blocked. Rolling around. And Highland Springs will have it at the 20 of Freedom.
George Lovelace came through and blocked it.
Watch it right here. Unreal.
They don't punt a whole lot, Andy, so it's not something they work on as far as protecting against the punts. But when you make them punt, make them do something that they're uncomfortable doing, now you see how they react to it. And Highland Springs is scratching, clawing, fighting their way back in this title game at UVA.
Incredible couple minutes here as a timeout looks like it's called by Freedom, and I think Coach Overton just wants to make sure his guys are calmed down. They still have a 15-point lead, Matt, but it doesn't feel like it right this second, does it?
No, it doesn't. All the momentum has swung completely, and it all happened with beginning that 74-yard punt return by Jakiri Henley that made it a two-score game late in our first half. Freedom marched down the field, didn't convert the fourth down. Springers got picked by Courtney at the end of the half, but here they are. They were able to respond with Henley again on the TD catch from Martin on fourth down, and Noah Jenkins, George Lovelace and company have stepped up. You got Jenkins in the back end of the secondary covering some of these receivers. The run game has been neutralized by Brennan Johnson and company, and now Martin. This opens up the whole package here in playbook with the running game and two backs in the backfield with Bird to his left and Henley to his right.
Martin in the shotgun. Crucial opportunity here to cash in on. Handoff in the backfield. Going here to the left side. That appeared to be Henley there. And he's tackled back behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of a yard. I mean, this is pivotal right here. You get the big block punt. You're on the 20. You got to score. You got to get back within one score, right?
But running wide on that Freedom defense is so hard to do. You got Jakai Jackson Hughes, Devin Reeves. They're all pinching down, and
Henley's been the big play threat along with Jenkins. They're both split out to the near side on second down and 11.
They're tight on Lovelace up top.
Quick toss. Jenkins has got it. Running room. Back to the middle. Touchdown, Highland Springs. And here come the Springers.
Very simple, basic design, but they execute it flawlessly. Jenkins gets it a couple of blocks. He's got Bird and the lineman going down the field, including big 58 there, Raekwon Taylor. And Jenkins will scoot his way to pay dirt here with 1:17 to go in the third quarter. We've got ourselves a ball game. Highland Springs has won 5 state championships in the last 8 years for a reason. So much heart, pride, determination. Not going down without a fight. And Andy, I think you asked me before the ball game what the score pick would be. 35-27 is what we've got, but we still got more football to play.
Unbelievable momentum shift here in Charlottesville. Highland Springs with an enormous block punt. George Lovelace does the honors there. You see that. And then the Springers, right away, they catch him in a blitz. And Noah Jenkins with some blocking in front takes it to the house for the touchdown. And it is now a one-score game, 35-27. Freedom still holding on. Still third quarter too, Matt. 1:18.
That's why my prediction has still got a lot of time to go. I don't think it's going to be scoreless the rest of the way.
I think your prediction is going to be
out the
off
window
there.
now. Yeah, it's way
Pooch
out.
kick again. Fair caught at the 30.
But this is, if you like scoring, if you like big plays, this is the game for you here, because we have seen some huge shifts of momentum. We had that early interception from Ja'Kai Jackson-Hughes. Overton, the 72-yard TD run. Springers came back with the punt return from Henley, the block punt you just watched. And then Christian Martin, he has really settled in here in the second half. He's throwing the football a lot better. He looks more composed. He has shook off the 2 interceptions early on in the first half. And Freedom's offense hasn't had to go to the air a whole lot. Do they do so on this drive? They might have to because the running game has sort of been bottled up.
Agreed. 1st and 10. Evans in the shotgun. He's going to hand it back to Cameron Courtney, and he's going to find nowhere. And guess who? Brennan Johnson stopped that play immediately.
I think he heard you say there was going to be some players of the game named after this game, and he wants to be one of those. Watch Brennan Johnson diagnose this right away. He comes through, nobody blocks him, and then afterwards you see a little late block trying to get a little shove there. Number 53, Talia for Freedom, one of the senior linemen, but they're behind the sticks again. And Freedom is not used to operating with 2nd and 11, 3rd and 11, 2nd and 12 situations. They'll put Courtney in motion here.
Quick toss to the edge. And Courtney will run over a Springer on the side. That was DeMontez Bullock-Coles who took the brunt of that hit, but it's still going to be 3rd down and 6.
Andy, you don't think of an offense that set the VHSL single-season scoring record a year ago and is averaging 59.3 points per game, needing someone to come to the rescue. But here on 3rd and 11, or check that, 3rd and about, we'll call it 3rd and 6, maybe 7. You need someone to come to the rescue. And Jeff Overton's been that guy time and time again. Tristan Evans has to really make a big play with his arm or feet here. And the Highland Springs defense, they're not letting him go down the field. They're playing in that same cover 3 type of look, making him have to be very patient.
Here's Evans straight ahead, and he's short of the 1st down. He's at the 39. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Do you go for it?
Oh, still 33 seconds and counting left 3rd quarter.
I'd tell you what I would do. I would line up quickly here as the time is ticking down to see if you can get them to jump off sides and let the quarter run out. That's what I would do if I'm Freedom. I'm a little surprised they're not doing that here with 10 seconds to go. See if they'll jump potentially or line up properly. But the quarter will run out and we'll go to the 4th with a lot of drama and excitement still in store.
My goodness, what a ball game. And we thought it might be over in the 1st quarter of action. Or were we wrong? Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll come back with quarter number 4. We got a ball game for you.
This presentation of the NFHS Network is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
With great brands at the best prices at Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun. More of this and this, and more of this and this. So you can do more of that, and that, and that, and definitely some of that. While getting together for more of that, and that. Yes! Have more fun with great brands at the best prices, only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Back to the action here. You're watching the 2023 VHSL Class 6 Football State Championship featuring the Freedom Eagles, undefeated, taking on Highland Springs at 13-1. 27 points now for Highland Springs. They trailed at one point in this game, 28-0. They've made it a ball game. 4th and 1, Freedom's going for it. At their own 39. Jeff Overton, the deep back. And he's going to hand it off. Running room, what a move. Down to the 40 goes Cameron Courtney.
Courtney's upset he ran into the referee. If he doesn't run into the referee, he's probably off to the races. The referee inadvertently got in his way. We watch the replay again here, Andy. It's handed off to Courtney, and he just runs right into the referee, smack dab.
What a break for Highland Springs. And there's nothing you can do about that. It's just a referee trying to get out of the way. Overton will keep it now. And he's down to the 32. So they've taken Evans out, and there is a penalty flag down. It might be a holding call against Freedom. Matt, we haven't seen them do this a lot with Evans not being in the game. Maybe there's something wrong.
Well, you wonder about that, or is there something they saw late in the first half that made them uncomfortable, whether it be injury-related or how he's throwing the football. I mean, statistically speaking, he was fine, 10 of 14 for 41 yards, but he's not getting it down the field, so there could be some arm discomfort, something that's not allowing him to test them deep. But that time you talk about the 12th man, the crowd being your advantage, and I think the Highland Springs crowd is being very loud here, giving them some energy to feed off of, and there was a 12th defender inadvertently that time on that run the play before.
Hard to beat 12.
Yeah, it is.
I feel bad for the official. I'm sure he feels bad, too, that he was at the center of that play, but, you know, they're not quite as nimble out there as these running backs. It's hard to get away. Here's the carry. This one got some room again. Courtney down the sideline, 20, inside the 10, cuts it back, touchdown, Freedom. And there's the answer right there.
Cam Courtney looked like he shot out of a cannon on that, and he just weaved his way for the last 10 to 15 yards again. They go to that Wildcat, hand it off. They knew right away when they handed it off that he was going to score this. I mean, the whole defense is just chasing him. There's one receiver blocking at the edge there. Good block delivered by Preston, and Cam Courtney made it look easy and effortless.
Unreal.
The Indiana commit.
The Hoosiers are getting a good one. Coach Signetti, the new coach, is going to like watching these highlights of number 5 here today. Here's the extra point, and the kick is up, and it's good. 11:33 to play, 42-27, but you just kind of feel like this one can't end without some drama. What do you think?
Well, and it could be the first to 50 in this game right now, the way they're scoring back and forth, trading blows. I mean, it has been something else here in this ball game. We had 28-13 at the break. It's now 42-27. And these two teams, they're used to scoring at a high rate. Does Highland Springs have enough weaponry and playmakers for this Freedom team? They certainly are showing the heart of a champion, the fight to come back in this thing. But Freedom just, if Overton's not doing it, they'll give it to Courtney. If he's not doing it, they'll go to Preston. So many different guys can step up and answer the call for Daryl Overton's Eagles from Woodbridge.
That was an impressive response right there. Much needed.
Look at the yardage, Andy, going into the fourth quarter, 379 to 160. You would not think this is a close ball game, but it is somehow because Highland Springs has made special teams special. Block punt, punt return, third phase has mattered.
Big plays, no doubt about it. Same thing true on the other side with Freedom. They've got a pick 6 today.
Yes.
And they also have an incredible one-handed grab, which I'm not a special teams player, defensive play, but those kind of plays don't happen very often. They've been fortunate to have some of those things go well here today, and they are out front 42-27 as we see the kickoff go right back to about the 10-yard line. Picked up by Simmons. Simmons got some running room. Is going to get knocked out of bounds at about the 34. So that's where the Springers will start first down and 10. Again, any other game that starts out as a back and forth, let's call it a one-score game at the half, you're sitting there going, hey, it could go either way. 28-0 in the first half. Freedom's out in front. To see Highland Springs fighting back, I'm not surprised. I know you aren't either. It's just they're a program full of champions. But here they are, and they really need a score here on this drive. They've got to get back within one with some time to make a stop, put some pressure on Freedom. A timeout called by the Eagles here. I want to remind you, our Academy Sports and Outdoors Player of the Game will be selected at the end of this one. Matt's got his statistics already in front of him. He's calculating like he does all the time, like that college football playoff committee. They had all the numbers, right?
They did.
And they're still taking some heat.
Tie game, Phoebus and Salem with 58 seconds to go. The Spartans get a touchdown and 2-point conversion to Josiah Moyer, so that one could be headed for extra fun at Liberty. 34-game winning streak for the Phantoms trying to get a three-peat. Salem with a 13-game winning streak. 10 state titles for the Spartans, 9 for the Phantoms. So you've got drama all across the NFHS network. This is where you need multiple accounts and multiple screens open at the same time to watch these games, right?
That's what I was just doing. I was just trying to figure out how to pull that up on my phone. Jack, pull the other game up on your phone too. I mean, it's just fun time. You're going to have some great games. Here we go, out of the timeout. Martin back to pass across the middle. Caught. Jenkins has got it. Past the 45 to the 47. That'll be a first down.
Really good, accurate throw by Martin. He stands in the pocket. He finds him on the inside route. They'd had the post patterns there all day. The Freedom secondary were complimenting earlier, but now having a little bit of a harder time against some of these, not even rub routes, but just routes in the middle of the field, although they are the safer routes on the outside, because we did watch Martin get picked off earlier on one in the first quarter by Hughes.
1st and 10. Martin back to pass, looking down the middle again. Got his man Henley. Oh, just a little bit too far to the inside. Henley was open.
Tell you what, Andy, I thought he was going to go to George Lovelace. He had him on a stop and go along the Freedom sideline, and it looked like he had a chance to loft that one down the field and test them deeper. It's weird to think this. You would anticipate that Freedom would take more shots vertically than Highland Springs, but we're watching the Springers use their passing game a lot more here in the second half than Freedom, which has really been content and leaned on the running game. Sometimes good, sometimes no success at all to it.
2nd down and 10. Quick toss out to the edge. Caught. Lovelace has got it, and he's got a first down. Out to the 38. And that'll move the chains there for Highland Springs. I think one key point to bring up is the fact that Freedom's defensive line appears to be tired. And they were getting pressure on Martin in the first half. And you can see we got one of them down on his knee. I mean, they've been out there quite a bit because of the quick strike offense, right? I mean, you don't take a toll on that defense unless you're out there all the time. When they strike so quickly, man, you're playing a lot of minutes out there. Here's Martin. He's running the football. Uh-oh. And that's going to be a big penalty. It'll go against number 10, Devin Reeves. We'll see what the call is. Martin appears to be okay.
Yeah, when you give yourself up like that with the slide, it's going to be called more times than not by the officials, and it's the right call. He slides down here and then just to hit, land the boom late there, too late for Reeves. And you're right, Andy, that these linemen are stuck in wind for Freedom. We talked about it in the open about some of the guys that go both ways for Freedom, not just on the back end with Overton and Courtney, but on the front side of the defense. And now Highland Springs has wisely gone to up-tempo, playing with a faster rate of speed because they're behind 2 scores and they know they can capitalize.
We don't have a targeting rule in high school football. And there's no intent, I don't think, to hurt on that play, but that might have been a targeting call in the college game.
86-yard touchdown pass for Phoebus that might very well win the game with a freshman quarterback delivering that throw, and Maricus Banks.
Unreal. So 1st down and 10 for Highland Springs, just inside the 30-yard line. 9.5 to go. Martin's going to keep it, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and he's pulling Eagles with him down to the 26, a gain of 3. How did that even happen?
That is 1-2. That is, I don't want to go down to my final high school football game here in the rain.
Injury timeout. As a couple of the Eagles are slow to get up.
That was just a read option play where Bird just got demolished from the start. He decided to keep it last second, and he turned nothing or a loss into something that was, a slight positive.
Not a good sign there as Preston was running off the field with his right arm not even moving. So clock moving. 8:51 and counting left here in this 4th quarter. Here's Martin. Going to give it to Bird, and he runs right into a wall. It's going to be 3rd down and about 6 here for Highland Springs.
The Highland Springs running game has not done a lot today. Through the 3 quarters that were played prior to this one, 28 yards on 13 attempts. So Eric Bird, who has been this workhorse back for Highland Springs, the Freedom defense, they've tackled him well.
And another timeout is going to have to be called by Freedom because they couldn't get the 12th man off the field in time.
I know with the physicality of this game picking up, these teams are glad this is the final game. They'll turn around and play someone next week because this has been a heavyweight bout.
Coaching staff for Freedom talking through all of the strategy here. They know that a touchdown for Highland Springs will make this one and that next drive interesting, to say the least. Matt, I thought you told me it was going to be sunny and 75 today.
It was so great until I said something, and all of a sudden the rain started coming out. Mother Nature said, "I'll show you." Decided to mess with our lovely weather day we had. But it's not discouraging these fans from making a lot of noise and rooting their teams on to victory. And we've got another one after this one. Stonebridge and Maury should be a dandy as well.
Matt, that touchdown that you just talked about from Phoebus happened with 1 second left on the clock.
After the quarterback was sacked, I believe, right?
Unbelievable. What a way. And there's a big hit on 3rd and 6.
Man, oh man.
That one delivered by number 34, Braxton Hunt. He just introduced himself.
Yeah, I don't think we've called out his name all day, but Andy coming in, 71 tackles, 15 for loss. And hello, Mr. Bird. I'm here to play. How about you? 4th down. Let's see what you got here, Springers, because you've been roaring back every time we've done something, and now Freedom's defense knows they get a stop here. It's going to move them one big step closer to back-to-back in another state championship.
So 4th down and 8 for Highland Springs. Man-to-man coverage at the top on Henley. Here's Martin. This one thrown in the flat, and it's incomplete. Bird, the intended receiver, he had the first down if he could have hauled it in. It'll be Freedom football. What a way to win a state title for Phoebus. Unbelievable. That'll be when we cut up and show you later on the NFHS network.
How about a freshman, Maricus Banks, going 86 yards to Keontae Gray, the senior, in his last game. That's his final play. Very reminiscent of Jacob Thomas to Zeke Wimbush a couple years ago at ODU as Stonebridge beat Maury, which is coming up after this one.
Here's Evans. Going to keep it straight ahead for a couple yards. It'll be 2nd down and about 7. Yeah, Maury, Stonebridge set the kickoff at 5 o'clock. Again, different times this year. Earlier start and a later start for the second game. Earlier start for the first one at 11:30. We don't mind.
No, we don't.
We love doing these games. They're the best games of the year right here.
That's what high school football is all about here, as Freedom tries to milk this clock. You don't think of Freedom having the milking clock ability because they're known to stay pedal to the metal, go, 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 but now it's important.
Overton running to the right side, breaks the tackles, got a first down and more. And it's all the way down past midfield. So they say he ran out of bounds at the 40, but that play looked like there was nothing there. Watch it. I mean, it's just nothing. And then he breaks 10 yards out of it.
And what a crafty run. How many backs would have decided to cut it back? He knew where he was going from the start of that run. He sees the marker. He wants to move the chains and put this one away. He went into that run with a purpose of, I'm getting to the outside. You're not going to stop me. If he had to, he would have lowered the shoulder on a defender and got it done.
Tremendous talent. I mean, he's just a junior.
Just a junior. And like we said, coming in, he needed to break the Prince William rushing record for career. Tyquan Brown, a former Freedom player, ran for 6,768 yards from 2015 to 2018. He needed 679 to do that. Well, today he's over 200 yards. So going into his senior year, he can get that record within game 2 or 3, right?
Maybe game 1. You never
well,
know.
If he wants, yeah. Might depend who they play game 1, but
I mean, I would have to assume, and again, you know this better than I do because you follow the recruiting closely, but I would have to assume he's the number 1 player in the state of Virginia next year coming out.
Well, it's funny. A lot of college coaches are wondering who the best back is. You've got Gideon Davidson for Liberty Christian, who's playing in the Class 3 state title game against Lafayette. Oh, by the way, he's going to play for Dabo Swinney and Clemson. You've got Harry Dalton, who's a quarterback that will play running back in college from Dinwiddie. You have Javon Ford from Kings Fork. But, yeah, I'm not going to pick someone ahead of Overton. I'll tell you that much because
Based on what I've seen today, not only can he play on the offensive side of the ball, but he's a defensive player as well. I just don't know that there's a better overall player that I've seen. And you mentioned a couple tremendous runners and a quarterback. Dalton's a great player. Coach Mills got a really talented group coming back. But I don't know, man. Number 6 to me is just a different guy. And he's done this against a really good Highland Springs defense. That's one thing that it's very, very difficult to put in words how strong Coach Johnson's defenses are and have been at Highland Springs. They're typically dominant against the run. You do not get to run all over them like this.
No.
So when you see a young man doing what he's done here today, jumping over guys, stiff arming dudes, I mean, it's just you got to put your respect out there and say, look, this guy's a different player. And you got to credit that offensive line too, and the receivers and how they block for him. I mean, he's certainly had a lot of help, but he's got some different skill sets that you don't see very often in high school.
Another final to tell you about, Andy. Radford defeated Riverheads 39-21 in the Class 2 state championship.
Wow.
So that
big
means
upset there.
15-0 win for them, and the Bobcats get the state title as the Gladiators end up seeing their streak of consecutive state titles come to an end at 7.
First down for Freedom. They'll move the chains and keep the clock going. There's Preston. Good to see him back in. Actually, he's going to be a little bit shy, it looks like. 4th down and 1 coming up. He started to move the chains and then put him back there. So 4th down. Matt, this might be a preview of what we see next year. Evans, right? He's a senior. We might see Overton in the backfield running the show. As this running play is stuffed on 4th and 1. It'll be Highland Springs football.
This thing's not over yet. They're going to get the football now.
Johnson again.
Well, we talked about it. They're not used to having to kill the clock because they're usually so far ahead of teams. Their closest game this year was the 8-point win over Verona, but every other game, Andy, has been a win by basically 35-plus points, running clock margin. So
big hit right there by Brennan Johnson. Gives the football back to his team.
And what this enables, Andy, for Highland Springs to do, if they score within a reasonable amount of time, they don't have to onside kick because they have 3 timeouts. Freedom has no timeouts left. Well, they have, I think, maybe 1, maybe none. So, they have the time on their side.
Martin going to toss it underneath, caught by Finney Jr. He's got the first down, and he's out of bounds at the 24. Nifty play there by Christian Martin.
Finney, just the 4th leading receiver on the team with 14 catches coming in, but watch Martin step up in the pocket, little scoot to the right, and Finney's got a lot of green grass in front of him. Getting some blocking from Henley on the outside. That's what you have to do to win a championship. Sacrifice, be selfless. Henley making the block there, and with 4:46 to go, the running game has been pretty much stopped, so it's going to be all throw unless Martin buys some time and takes off.
There's Martin back to pass. Throwing it towards the end zone for Henley. Did he catch it?
Oh, I thought he got it.
Almost a sensational grab by Kyrie Henley. We got to watch that again.
Yeah, the official was pretty sure that it hit the ground. It might have taken a hop.
Slow it down even more once we get close here. This might have trumped Preston's if he'd caught this.
Oh, it did hit the ground.
It hit the ground.
Yeah.
Good call by the official who was right there.
Would have been a sensational reception.
It was a good throw by Martin. It was only where he could catch it.
And those are the safe throws you have to make if you're a quarterback that's headed to the Big Ten. Right now, he's going to have to stay poised here, locked in.
There's Martin back to pass. He'll take it and runs. Got some room, and he's still on his feet. He might score. Christian Martin. Touchdown, Springers. 4:28 to play. It's not over yet.
Look at Christian Martin. Again, determination, sheer will, not going to be denied here today. He cuts it back the other way, and Courtney delivered a shot to him up high, and his big frame's willing to take it. This is a young man that won a state basketball championship a few years ago, trying to get back-to-back as a football player to close out his career, and a decorated one at that. Still in it.
Extra point is good. And we got an 8-point game. Go back and watch that run one more time by Christian Martin. Again, we talked about utilizing his legs here in the second half. Here you go. Nothing open downfield, takes off and runs, takes a shot, stays on his feet, dives to the end zone. And you never know, Springer magic, we've seen it for many years. Down by 8 with 4.5 to play.
And like I mentioned a few moments ago, Andy, with 4.5 minutes to go in all 3 timeouts, you do not have to onside kick it, and I wouldn't, because if you do and don't get the onside kick, now you're leaving Freedom with pretty good field position. They can chew up a lot of clock. I'm kicking it deep, playing defense. Your defense has been, outside of a couple plays, really rock solid here in this second half. And it's hard to believe that with 42 points allowed. So.
What a game this has turned into. And the one thing about it, you talk about winning close games. Highland Springs has played in games like this in championships where they've had to come back and win it in the end. Freedom has really not had to play a lot of close games here, Matt. Yeah. How do they respond if all of a sudden Highland Springs has the ball with a chance to tie the game, right? Key question. What a game. High kick. It'll be fielded back at the 15. And Reed will run it out of bounds at about the 26, 27-yard line.
Well, people wanted this matchup for months and months and months, and we got it. And if 76 points wasn't enough for you, guess what? There might still be some more points scored here in these last 4 minutes and change.
So it'll be 1st and 10. .426 here on the clock here in this one.
Preston back out there in motion.
Quick toss to the edge. Here comes Reed. Out to about the 37-yard line. That'll be a first down.
And just the design to have Preston go in motion, I think, helps set this play up. You see him going to the top of the screen. They make the catch. He's out there ready to make a block on one of the defensive backs for Highland Springs. Gets to DeMontez Bullet Coles. And that's a really healthy gain to move the sticks for your Freedom. You'll take that every time.
So first down and 10 for Freedom. They're milking some clock here. Evans back in the ball game. He'll keep it. Running to the right. Tackled at the 47, let's call it, 48-yard line. He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down.
You know, Evans has been quiet in the second and third quarters of this game, but trying to finish off strong the way he began the ball game, set the tempo for Freedom. Another first down will force Highland Springs to use one of those timeouts.
So second and short here. Again, clock winding, and you kind of assume if they get the first down here, Matt, that the next run, you're going to have to call a timeout for Highland Springs.
Absolutely.
There's Overton bouncing inside for a first down carry to the 44 of Highland Springs.
This guy's a different breed. We've talked about it all day long, gushing and gushing about him, and he's really been everywhere on this football field. He's played defense. They've gone to some different formations where he's handed off the football. And you think about this Freedom offense, how good is it, Andy? They set the state scoring record last year, averaging almost 60 a game this year. Highland Springs hadn't allowed 40-plus points in a football game since 2013.
Unreal.
When Atlee put up 49 on them. So we're talking about something that hadn't happened in 10 years, and they did it today and made it look easy.
Almost a tackle in the backfield. Overton's got some running room, still on his feet. First down carry is out of bounds. And he's limping a little bit. What a run.
Again, he gets to the outside. He knows where he wants to go. When he makes his mind up on a run, there's no need to do the cutting and zigging and zagging and juking. You run with power, purpose, persistence. With 2:14 to play, Freedom knows they're closing in on some history here and going back-to-back undefeated seasons. And to beat a very worthy challenger in Highland Springs who won the title a year ago in Class 5 at Old Dominion. We watched them beat Maury. Lauren Johnson's program came fighting back to try to make it 6 championships in 9 years, but they're going to need some miraculous turn of events to have a shot in these last couple of minutes.
They got to start using these timeouts after this first down run if they can get a stop here and keep them from gaining a first down. They're going to have to hope for a mistake maybe by Freedom. Handoff again, Overton. Overton for a first down run. Mouthpiece comes out, big hit by Johnson, but that moves the chains again. I don't know why you wouldn't do it the same thing over and over again. Right now, Overton's averaging about 12 yards a carry in this situation.
Bad wheel, mouthpiece out. He doesn't care. He wants to win. He's hungry for a second ring. I think he knows the perspective of what he can do and accomplish before he moves on to college, in a couple of years. He wants to be one of the all-time running backs in Virginia High School League history, and there's a great long laundry list of them.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the state championship game. 1st and 10. And that's going to be a false start penalty on Freedom. So that will stop the clock and move them back 5 yards. The one thing I would say to you, Matt, in just watching Jeff Overton run, and I used to say this about Reggie Bush, Michael Vick, I mean, they look so effortless and like they're not even trying to run hard, and yet they're faster than most everybody on the field.
It's like they're gliding out there and they're skating on ice, and you're playing in quicksand trying to catch them. It's just, and these defenders for Highland Springs, they're no joke. We talked about it. This is the first time in 10 years they've been hit for this many points, and I'm sure this many yards. I mean, they're probably closing in on close to 500 now in this game.
1st and 15. Evans is going to keep it, and he's going to be pulled down. And now the timeout will be called by Coach Johnson with 1:30 on the clock.
It's all about ball security at this point. Don't put it on the carpet. Let it pop loose. Freedom takes care of the football. They're going to win this football game and finish off a 14-0 season and a second straight state championship. And think about this. Of their 29 victories in a row, all but 2 of them it appears to be, double digits unless they score here. It could be 28 of them. They had the one tussle with Verona this year. That was a one-score, single-digit game, and this one right now is at single digits, but I don't think Freedom's thinking about scoring. They just want to run the clock out. You say, why not? 2 TDs puts it up. Well, it still allows Highland Springs to get the ball, try an onside kick if they were to score a touchdown. Freedom right now wants to end this game and run the clock out.
2nd and 15. Handoff in the backfield. This one to Cameron Courtney. Straight ahead for another timeout. Clock at 1:25. So now it's going to be 3rd down and about 14 here for Freedom.
Just 2 fantastic programs. I don't think we can talk about it enough. What Daryl Overton's done at Freedom and Lauren Johnson at Highland Springs to put their teams in position to repeat in the highest classification in Virginia high school football. Springer's moving up from Class 5. The Eagles of Woodbridge, who played some teams. They had one game that was middle of the year, Andy, or early in the year, halted because of weather with DeMatha. They were winning that game, ended up not getting resumed, but played Coolidge out of D.C. They're trying to challenge themselves against other teams outside of Woodbridge, and Highland Springs has been known to do that outside of Richmond for years and years and years.
So 3rd and 14 Overton's going to take it to the right side. Johnson trying to track him down. They knock him out of bounds, so they save a timeout. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, clock shouldn't keep running. He was out of bounds.
He was
clearly
out of bounds.
I'm not sure what that official is signaling that the clock keeps running for. Is he saying his forward progress was stopped on the hit? Can't be.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, the clock is still running. They got a timeout. They got to call timeout.
I think they're out.
Are they out?
I think they're out.
I mean, he was still running when he ran the ball
Yeah,
out of bounds.
that clock should have stopped there. And I'm surprised Lauren Johnson isn't a tad bit more animated. I think he realizes now Freedom will use its last timeout with 33 seconds. And the decision here, Andy, I don't think you dare try a field goal because it could get blocked and then all heck could break loose. Craziness could ensue. Could be Alabama-Auburn Part 2, if you will. And the one with the kick, not the 4th and goal from the 31 that got this year's Crimson Tide to the college football playoff with Michigan and with Washington. And
I don't know. We still had him down as having one timeout, Matt.
Yeah.
Left. You know,
Texas, by the way. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know the board up here up top was showing no. Now that could have been after they assumed they were calling one, but he clearly looked like he was out of bounds. I don't know how they said that the time would continue on. And you would think that maybe one of his official teammates would go over to him and say, no, clock stopped.
Right.
They didn't go over to help. Now he's got the closest angle of it.
But that took off another 30 seconds there.
Valuable for Highland Springs here because if you're Freedom, I think Daryl Overton's thinking what I was saying. You don't try a field goal at all here. And the other thing is, I wouldn't even throw this ball because if you throw this ball into the end zone or anywhere near it, could be a pick six deal.
Yeah, Overton to me is the guy. Give him the ball and see what he can do.
And it's going to be him out of Wildcat, it looks like.
4th down and 9. They'll hand it, a reverse back to Preston. Got a block in front, and he's out of bounds. No first down. It'll be Highland Springs football.
It's a good job by Highland Springs giving themselves a chance, though it is a long shot. And how about Overton to hand it off and still go out there and block? How many backs would just got out of the way, or even quarterbacks if he's the one handing off here? Little razzle-dazzle read back to Preston. He's looking to throw a block there, and a good job by the defender. I think that was number 9 for Highland Springs, Devin Simmons, to not take that bait. He shook it off, and because if he gets blocked there, it might allow him to get to the edge there and get the first down.
So Highland Springs with 26 seconds to play.
Can they go get Maricus Banks and Keontae Gray from Lynchburg and have them come for this play?
Right, for one play, right? The
Tell you what,
freshman will be a legend in the hallways on Monday.
If we get 93 yards here,
Martin kind of hesitated. I don't know if he got a handle on the ball. Remember, it's been raining out there.
it might have slipped out.
Yeah, it looked like it maybe slipped out of his grip.
Well, and in reality, if he gets a short gain and gets tackled, the clock's running. So that's a blessing if he catches it and he gets out of bounds. These all have to be the sideline because anything in the middle of the field in a tackle, you're basically scrambling to get a heave off. But this is going to have to be a make-you-miss play, and slipping a guy and making the Freedom defenders who are so fast and athletic miss inside your own 10. That's a big ask.
Coach Johnson wanted a new football out there. And they needed the ball boy over here on the near side to get him a new one. So here we go, 2nd and 10. Quick toss. Out of bounds is Lovelace. So 3rd and 1 for Highland Springs, 17 seconds to play.
Again, it's hard to throw a Hail Mary, chuck and pray type of play at this spot of the field.
No timeouts left for Highland Springs. Martin will toss it up. This one caught for a first down out to about the 29, 30-yard line. So they'll get a fresh set of downs with 9 seconds. And really right here, you got to start challenging down the field to get within striking distance, right? You throw it up, have a shot at maybe a Hail Mary.
Yeah, with 9 seconds to go, or if you have one of those hook and ladder Boise State or Cal Stanford plays in the bag, one of those razzle-dazzle where you have some laterals. This could require lateraling the ball after you make a completion.
Martin back to pass. Throws it, and that might run the clock out right there. No time left, and that's it. Freedom celebrates back-to-back state championships. As the clock hits 0, the Eagles soar to a 42-34 victory.
This one had so many momentum swings, Andy. Highs and lows for both teams, and just some great plays, and many of them made by juniors on the field for both sides. In the case of Freedom, 29 straight wins for Darrell Overton's team. Hats off to them for accomplishing this feat, knowing it would not be easy, and they didn't blink even when the Springers came roaring back.
Tremendous win. Great game. We weren't expecting it to be somewhat close, but that's a credit to Highland Springs and their championship history. They never quit. They were right there the whole time. And a couple plays here and there, Matt, and they could have been right there for a late win. But you really got to credit Freedom. They just kept doing what they do, and Jeff Overton and crew found a way to get a big run or two, big pass play, and there was never a doubt in their mind they had it. And they got their second state championship ring.
We talk a lot of times, Andy, about state championships not being won in the first quarter; they can be lost. But Highland Springs came roaring back. I will say this: the Freedom defense in the first quarter to keep Highland Springs out of the end zone. They got 13 points those last 7 minutes, but to jump out to that 28-point lead, because after the first 16 minutes of this one, and again, it takes 48 minutes, but it was all Freedom, 28-0. And that big lead, sometimes it's hard to finish the deal making the comeback all the way from 4 TDs down. Jeffrey Overton was spectacular, and if you haven't seen his plays, make sure you go back and watch it here on the NFHS Network. Cameron Courtney, he stepped up. The crazy TD pass to Juju Preston, the one-handed snag. I mean, really, Freedom wins this game with 2 second-half touchdowns. That was it. But they were big clutch touchdowns to keep the opposition at bay. A lot of heart and pride shown by Highland Springs. They'll be back in the mix as long as Lauren Johnson is the coach. And he's got a son to coach, keep coaching, and Brennan Johnson, the linebacker. They'll have to replace Christian Martin at quarterback. But I look up and down the Freedom roster, Andy, outside of Tristan Evans, the senior, and you got E.J. Reed and Cam Courtney, also seniors, Jewel Harris, Isaiah Harper, Aaron Duncan. There are so many juniors and key cogs coming back for them. Jonah Fuga on the line, Preston and Overton, and there'll be a handful.
Well, this has been one of the most prolific scoring teams in VHSL history. And they put 42 up today, which was just enough to hold off Highland Springs.
Well, again, if they didn't have that fast start that they got off to, they might have been on the wrong side of this one. It was imperative for them to jump out and not allow Highland Springs to have, a chance to keep this within striking distance, which they had in the second half, but they had to work so hard to make it a competitive ball game.
Before we join the public address announcer for the championship trophy presentations, it's time for us to choose our Academy Sports and Outdoors player of the game. And no question, for me, Matt, and I'm sure you too, it's Jeff Overton, the junior tailback today, with an unbelievable performance. He had 164 yards in the first half alone, a couple touchdowns. We saw him throw a touchdown today to his teammate, Carlton Preston. I mean, just a tremendous overall performance by number 6, Jeff Overton. And he's coming back for more next year. So all the coaches in the area just said, oh, no.
Yeah, that Prince William County record could be in sight. I think he could very well be named Class 6 State Offensive Player of the Year for the second straight season. They'll be thinking about a three-peat. And a lot of honorable mentions you could put up there as worthy candidates certainly on the line. Walter Hughes, big center, paving the way for him. He was impressive. Juju Preston with that one-handed snag. Can't forget about Cam Courtney. Jakai Hughes with a pick 6 and some key plays for Highland Springs. Brennan Johnson at linebacker, number 11, was everywhere. Jakari Henley, number 1. But Jeff Overton was a cut above the rest here today and very deserving of that honor. And I think he's going to be player of the game, player of the year for years to come. And his future is so bright. And like you said, too, Andy, he's not a one-trick pony. You can flex him out to receiver, and at defensive back, he's very, very skilled as well.
We'll take a quick break here and a quick word from Academy Sports and Outdoors. We'll be right back with the championship trophy presentations after this.
This presentation of the NFHS Network is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun